friend Soushiant Zanganehpour. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right because we're on a first name basis here. Soushiant is, of course, the CEO and founder of Sway. And Sway is currently our most important tool, I would say, for our deep funding program. It's important for obvious reasons because we are using the Sway portal, our portal, which is powered by the Sway software, for proposers to submit their proposal and for our community to give feedback on that. But actually, it's more than that because I see deep funding, first of all, as a way to seed our AI platform with new and exciting AI services. But I also see it as an ongoing experiment and a learning journey for governance, because our community is not only able to vote on proposals, but I also would like all of you to be involved in how we will develop deep funding itself, its tools, its processes, everything around it. And that requires governance, and that requires your voice being heard. And yeah, our Sway portal is and will prove to be an invaluable tool for that. And we're just at the beginning right now, and it's already a very good fit for anything that we like to do. But from here on, it will only get better. And I'm sure that with your help also, giving feedback also on the Sway portal itself, we will be able to continue and developing it into the best tool for decentralized governance there is. So with that introduction and no further ado, Soushiant, the floor is yours.
Thank you, deeply, Jan. I don't want to overuse the word deep in this webinar, but it's been a real symbiotic partnership so far. Just meeting the SingularityNET team and speaking the same language and having the same spirit about the things we want to do. And I really appreciate also the kind of wider picture that you're trying to provide of what Sway is attempting to do. It's not just a little piece of software to, power grants and proposals, but really meant to help this dream we all have of decentralized governance come into reality, make it more efficient or more powerful than the existing kind of status quo that exists in most organizations, which is a more hierarchical and top-down process for decision making. So in today's webinar, I'm going to just give you a couple minutes of an overview of what Sway is and what the intentions are and how the full range of the platform could be used. And then after that couple of minutes, I'm going to go into the very specific scenarios of turning you guys into super users of the platform, so you can get the most out of this experience of the deep funding grant program and also hopefully give us some really useful and valuable feedback for improving the platform. Sound good?
It sounds good to me. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to share my screen, and I encourage you guys to write your questions in the chat. We have a couple moderators, I think, in the room as well, and Jan will also help stop me if I'm going too fast or in any tangent, and maybe we'll take questions live as they come. All right, I'm going to share my screen, and what I'm going to start on first is a quick presentation here. Do you guys see what I see, or Jan, do you see what I see?
Yes.
Perfect.
I see Sway and SingularityNET and a nice image.
Perfect, great. So today's goal is to turn you guys, or some of you that are just sort of curious and interested in what this platform is and why we're doing this, into these super users of it. Very comfortable, very affluent, very fluent in the language, nomenclature, and feature set of Sway. And to do that, I kind of need to give you a little bit of context of why we've built Sway the way we've built it, so you understand, why the feature set is the way it is. This isn't, Excel or Asana. there's some subjectivity that's been designed into the feature set and flow of Sway, and I just want to help provide this context to you. So Sway, is a platform for helping crowdsource decision-ready solutions from the bottom up through this merit-based process. We really are about immersive, frictionless, bottom-up feedback from a community. And we use metrics and we use the collaboration features as a form of filtering to help the best ideas or the most engaging ideas rise efficiently and transparently from the bottom to the top. Now, the way we do this is through this sort of 6-step process where folks like Jan and other members of the Singularity team come into the platform and set up these missions, these big questions that we want to crowdsource solutions to. In this case, those big questions are the grant funding streams, the 2 different streams that are going on. But then, the real bulk of the work is on you as the users, as the sort of stakeholders that are part of the organization. Your job is to come in and put in the great proposals. It's to go in and debate the existing proposals that are on there, vote, point out risks, point out strengths, and ultimately help signal to the decision makers which ideas deserve attention from everybody, which ideas sort of should be decided upon. Just very, very briefly, as I said, folks like Jan and his team set up the questions, and the questions can be anything really, but they're big, wide, broad questions that sort of require creative solutions to. There's no set answers to them. And if they like to, like we've done in some of the missions there, we've set some sort of success metrics saying, if an idea meets these success metrics, it automatically goes to a decision. In this case, Jan and team, and for the grant funding program, we're not using these metrics. But on one of the missions, which is the how can we improve Sway, we are using some of these metrics to help signal to us as a management team which ideas deserve more attention than others. And again, these metrics are not about voting. They're all about improvement and collaboration.
Can I interrupt, Soushiant? Because I think
Yes,
maybe
please.
in the future we might be using these metrics. So one use case I see is for folks coming up with ideas around deep funding. And at some point, if we are more progressed in our maturity, we can actually have these escalation metrics in place. And when we have tested them sufficiently, we could set up a process where in a certain stage, a proposal will be fit for actual voting in our voting portal by the token holder.
Yes. Indeed, great interruption, I think, and great clarification. For deep funding, these metrics are not being used. You have your simple and existing process there. However, as you broaden the use cases of Sway into more broad decision making or decentralized, participation in these processes, you may find these metrics useful and helpful in filtering signal from noise. So once these sort of things are set, then it's really up to the community to come in and start putting in their best ideas. And we use some AI to help people improve their proposal, which I'll show you in a couple of minutes. But folks will enter proposals into the system to try to answer those questions. Other people, other community members can come in and sort of edit the proposal or suggest edits to the proposal, just like a Google Doc. They can debate the merits of a proposal, the pros, the cons, the strengths, weaknesses, major questions. And finally, they can vote on the idea. And this is a sort of non-binary voting or ranking, if you want to call it that. You're sort of showing the degree to which you agree or disagree with the proposal. There's not just a binary yes, no, it's like, I really love this, or I kind of like this, or I really hate this. And it helps you express your sentiment, and it helps the entire community see what is the spectrum of opinion on an idea. on the platform. So just to wrap up here, once an idea has achieved some degree of buy-in and collaboration by the community, then the ideas that achieve the most will sort of have these metrics start to be achieved. You'll be able to see transparently how much progress they've had. And finally, there could be some decision making that happens on the platform around what to do with certain ideas, whether to decline them, whether to accept them, whether to implement them, and so on and so forth. So I'm telling you all this because we may not use the entire feature set of Sway, but really it's been built to enable a bottom-up decision-making process to make it more efficient, more transparent, and better than the existing sort of processes we have in large organizations. And we believe that this entire burgeoning field of DAOs and crypto organizations are built around the spirit and could really benefit from a one-stop shop where all this can happen for decentralized and collective governance. I'll stop here for a second in case there are any questions before sort of jumping off to the next slide.
There is one question here. Not sure, since you're pausing, we can just as well take it right now.
Great.
Does Sway have a native token, or is it just part of Singularity? Do you want to answer that, or shall
I? I can take a stab at it, and you can, help correct it further if you like. Sway is not a blockchain project yet, and we do not have a native token. It is a blockchain and token agnostic governance platform for any organization to come and use at the moment. We're very, very excited about the potential synergies between Singularity and what we've built, and more kind of feature embeddedness, particularly around the official voting process that Singularity has on their blockchain and whatnot. But at the moment, it's sort of organization and blockchain agnostic.
Great. And we are partners. Sway is not part of SingularityNET, but you could say in a way Sway is part of our broader ecosystem of partners. And we're working very closely together. There is one other question which I might answer. So when you say decision-ready ideas are presented to leadership, are we to assume that it will be carried out exactly or with leadership input? I think Soushiant here was demonstrating the functionalities of the platform itself, and not specifically how it is implemented or how we will be using it within SingularityNET and deep funding. So you will have opportunity to give suggestions and proposals on what to do with SingularityNET or with deep funding, sorry. But we don't have yet a fixed process on when we will vote, when it is required to vote on suggestions. Maybe some suggestions are just obvious and we will implement them right away. Maybe others are more controversial, and we want to know if there is enough substance behind it before we put them to a vote. But that's one of the things I hope we will be finding out together over the coming months and years. So yeah.
I would add one more thing to that, Jan, and just to keep in mind that when we built Sway, we built it for normal organizations, not crypto organizations that operate in a more sort of decentralized spirit, but for organizations that have a real strict hierarchy. We were trying to hack the hierarchy through the Sway process. So a company that wanted to encourage innovation inside their workforce would use Sway and would use the decision-making process that we would suggest to escalate certain decisions from the bottom to the top in a transparent way. Now, that's one potential use case. Other organizations may use it differently. So it's really, really dependent on the process that the organization and leadership want to implement.
All right, I see more questions coming in, and thanks for that. They are good questions, very interesting. But I would propose right now first to continue with the demo, and then come back later to the questions. So we make sure that we have enough time for that as well.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll try to be quick here, so that you can learn a lot about the platform, and we can answer more conceptual questions towards the end. So here we go. There are 5 platform experiences that I want to walk you through, and I have a couple of additional tips to share with you too. The 5 are, how to navigate Sway, where to go, where to find things, how to create a proposal, and then how to suggest edits to an existing proposal, how to add strengths and weaknesses to an existing proposal, and how to vote, or in this case, rank your preference on the proposals. Just to clarify, I think whatever votes a proposal receives on the Sway platform is not indicative of its success in your existing deep funding governance process. I believe that once a significant amount of action happens on the Sway platform, certain proposals, based on the amount of feedback and improvement and ranking they've received, will be moved off of the Sway platform into your existing official voting platform, and that's where the real voting happens. So please don't get the term voting confused here. It's mostly just a way of ranking and prioritizing which ideas on the Sway platform you appreciate and which ones you don't. In addition to these 5 scenarios, there are 3 other tricks I want to sort of show you, which will really improve your experience. How to remain anonymous if you want to on the Sway platform, how to bookmark certain proposals so you can go back to them really, really quickly, and how to add bio information and change your handle and things like this so you have a more personalized experience. So let me just share my screen and start with the navigation process. And Jan, do you see my screen again?
Yes, I see my feed.
Great, right. So I'm now in the deep funding Sway environment, and we have, I think, 6 missions at the moment. So quickly, your feed is like your one-stop shop to understand the latest and greatest that's happening on the platform. Right up top, you see the different...
Can I interrupt you once more, Soushiant, because I think
yes.
2 of these missions are not visible for everybody, just to avoid confusion. Those are the missions for experts and projects that want to ask expert support. So I created 2 missions, which are just right now restricted to the people involved. So if anybody would like to become an expert, they will get access to that group.
Thanks for clarifying that. So that's one of the features of Sway, is that missions can be open to everybody, or it could be open to specific people on the platform. That allows you to have some degree of, I think, control over the ideation process on different projects and big questions. But generally, most of the missions are open to everybody on the platform, and you sort of see them here. We have the 4 main ones, deep funding improvement. How do we improve the entire deep funding process? A mission specifically focused on how can we improve the Sway platform? Give us your best ideas. We have some prizes and things we want to give away, or rewards for that effort. Then you have the 2, actual funding buckets. Grants under $40,000 and grants over $40,000 but under $150,000 that have slightly different, I think, requirements. But so again, your feed is where you sort of see the missions. You see a leaderboard here of who's done the most amount of collaboration, who's created the most ideas on the platform, and who has voted the most. Tebo is doing amazing stuff, by the way. I have to give him a shout out for suggesting so many great improvements on the Sway mission. And this is sort of why he's got so many creator improvements here. Anyways, below that, you see all of the proposals. And these proposals relate to every single mission here. You can filter them by the different missions that exist. So if you only want to see missions related to funding, or you only want to see missions related to how do we improve Sway, you can do that. You can also sort them amongst all these different filters that we have a different view of them if you like, not a card view, but a list view. Leverage the tags, other sorts of stuff. Very, very functional. On the left side, you have the navigation throughout the platform. You have your drop down of all the existing missions here, a drop down of if you actually use Sway to its fullest, you would use the decisions tab to see where ideas are relative to the decision-making process. If you have administrative access, you have an insights tab where you see some analytics. And most importantly, you have like a how it works page here, where this sort of broadly explains what the intention of the use case of the platform is. If you click into missions, you get to see those 6 missions here. If you click into decisions, you also get to see a workflow now, slightly different feed page that shows what are all the active proposals, which ones are under review, which ones have been declined, accepted, moved to implementation, so on and so forth. We'll get to sort of these tabs later in the process. At the moment, it's really about creating ideas and collaborating on ideas. And I just want to focus, a lot of attention on that. Sound good? So heading back for a second, we're gonna, we did some navigation. I'm gonna show you how to create a proposal for those of us brave enough to put an idea on the platform. Yeah, I'm going to use maybe one of these deep funding missions in order to create a proposal. So I go into the mission page of the first round, pool B. I have an idea of under $40,000, and for argument's sake, I'm just going to make up some stuff here. But you basically press the create button, the create proposal button, and it launches you into an editor. And we're asking, what's the title of your idea? Do you have an image? And then these are some fields that are semi-mandatory and some that are suggested by the organizing committee on how they want you to structure your idea. So, provide a concise summary of the idea, put the project name, put in the amount you want, put in the description of the problem, your proposed solution, how will this benefit the SNet AI platform. If you have a longer description, which is mandatory, please put it in here. Competitive analysis, marketing plan, team information, things you need besides funding, open source, yes, no, NA. If there's a cost breakdown, so we're really looking for a detailed proposal. These are not one-line tweets that the team is looking for. If you want to apply for, 150 grand or $40,000, they need, sufficient detail. As you see, what's the summary of an idea? Jan, do you want to should we brainstorm one together or can I maybe grab?
The functionality is more important than the content, so please feel free to add anything you like.
Let me quickly grab something. What I'm going to do is do the following.
Unless, of course, you're contemplating of submitting an actual proposal live in this session.
No, I just want to show people some cool features so that they actually benefit from the entire feature set we have. So I'm just using this as a oops. Just placeholder, really. Launch our own Okay, and so that's my idea. I have some information here about the idea. I pulled this from an existing proposal that we had. As you see, I can basically write over the suggested information below, sort of use these in the right way, put them in the right places. And as I do so, I can, edit, change the formatting of them, I can change the color and font. I can change the size. You know, I can change highlighting. There's a lot of you know, support I have here. I can also add imagery here. You can add a link. You can add an actual image. You know, for example, uploading this image inside here. I can add a link to a video. I can add a table. So you have quite a bit of functionality. It's not like, you know, Google Docs, but you know, close enough in many ways. At the end, also, you can add attachments to this as well. If there's, you know, a PDF that you'd like to attach, if there's a presentation of some sort that you'd like to attach, whatever sort of comes to mind, you can add it here as further evidence for your idea. And you might notice that there's a lot of these red marks that are going on. Well, in the background we have some NLP, natural language processing algorithms, that are analyzing what you're writing in order to suggest some improvements to you. That NLP does a bunch of things for you. It's doing some basic sort of grammatical improvement suggestions. You know what you might want to change here. You know, where things that are redundant or excessive, it's telling you to omit, so on and so forth. It's also giving you the sort of general sentiment of the entire document that you've written and where that sentiment is sort of showing up the most. Overall, it believes this is a positively framed proposal or idea. Also, it's showing you the emotion that's coming out inside the idea. It mentions curiosity, but I don't know where it's picking up this curiosity from. But it does emotion and sentiment analysis. It also does readability analysis, showing you where you may have problematic, you know, complex sentences, and you know, how you might want to consider revising these sentences. So play around with the AI. Sometimes it works really well and it's helpful. Sometimes it's annoying. Our apologies. It's sort of work in progress. Couple of really cool things that the AI does, other than annoy folks, is it writes a 30-second summary of your entire idea for you. So if once you're done editing the idea, do come back and sort of ask the AI to do a retry here and do another sort of take of the summary. And you can go in and edit it further if you don't like what it's written. But basically, this helps. If you've got a really long proposal, this will help someone get a very quick understanding of it without having to read it. And so it's important for you to pay a little bit of attention here. And you may actually use this to write your own summary inside your proposal. Two other things to mention. You see these kinds of throbbing little dots on the platform. Well, one of them is mentioning to you, like, would you like to add an image to support your idea? And we have integration with Unsplash here, which will allow you to just, you know, use their library here and find something that's relevant for the idea that you have in mind. In this case, it's sort of not really finding what I'm looking for, but hopefully you'll have better luck than I do. This is beautiful. Let's use this. If any of these things don't work, you're always welcome to add your own image by pressing the upload button here, or you can actually upload your own video. You can use QuickTime or something to record yourself explaining the idea and upload that instead of an image, which will hopefully help you pitch the proposal in a more stronger manner. The last thing that it does, which I think is pretty cool, is we have an integration with GPT-3. And GPT-3 helps us to reformulate and reformat certain sentences and things. And we're using this to help people write better titles for their proposals. So would you like Sway to recommend a title to you if you're not sure about this title? And if you do, then GPT-3 here will look at the entirety of your entirety of your own proposal, and then try to generate something that's relevant to that. So it's saying, yeah, that's not really relevant. I didn't really fill out the rest of the sections of the proposal, so it's going to find not so useful stuff there. But if I had really filled out the proposal, then you would probably receive something more targeted for your needs. Anyways, that's how this works. Once you're ready to submit, you can anonymize yourself, or you can remain as you are. You're welcome to add some tags here that relate to your idea. I don't know, deep funding, whatever else that's related, and then submit the idea. Once you submit it, you get a little bit of confetti, and the idea should be inside the mission now as one of the other ideas. So right now there are two ideas there. There's one that I created, and one that was already there, already. Cool. Let me break here for a second, see if there are any questions that come through before moving on to the other core features.
There are a few questions, maybe also for the earlier part, but maybe this is a nice moment to take a short break and answer a few questions. So there's
Sure.
one person asking for the metrics, and I think he's referring to the escalation metrics. He's asking, could you give an example of escalation metrics?
Perfect. Yeah. So I'll do it on our own mission. So we have a mission on how can we improve Sway. And on the right side of that mission, you have a bunch of stated goals. Like, why did we set up this mission? Well, look, we're trying to improve user experience, user retention, engagement, delight, etc. These are the 4 people that will be the decision makers. These are members of our team, senior members of our engineering team, our head of AI and engineering, and myself. And these are the metrics that we're going to use to determine which ideas deserve our attention and which ideas don't. Imagine that we didn't have 6 ideas here, we had 600. We can't review every one, so we use those metrics in a way to help filter which ideas really are captivating the attention of the community and therefore should be things that the management or the decision makers must listen to and must sort of make a decision on, whether it's a go or no go. So in this case, we've set the decision-making metrics as we need at least 5 people to vote. We need the average score of the voting to be at least 70% and above. We need at least 1 strength and 1 concern raised for the idea. If an idea meets these requirements, then it automatically moves to a decision. And it's on us as a decision-making council or whatever to say yes, no, and why. That's how we use metrics. And these metrics are entirely customizable, configurable. They can be high, low, combined with other things, or as simple as a straight vote. So that's how those metrics work.
Small subset, I think, of the possibilities. I think there's a list of 10 or 12 options you can add. So basically, anything that happens, you can use as part of your metric to determine when it should be escalated to.
We have here it is. We can increase the number of edits that happen to the idea. And how long it stays active.
There's a lot of flexibility there. I just want to point out that for our voting rounds, we are not using them. We will put everything that is eligible, so everything that is not unethical, for instance, and helps grow the platform up for a vote. And then it's just the community deciding who will be awarded. But we might use these escalation features later on for discussions on the process and governance. There's one other question, Soushiant. Somebody asked, is AI used in determining the rankings?
No, not at all. We find because of the training sets that AI has access to, and the folks that sort of train the training sets or clean those training sets, there's the possibility for introduction of tremendous bias into what is a good idea versus a bad idea. And we think that that judgment could be reserved for the collective. The collective can make a better determination of merit than a single trained AI by, you know, certain set of data sets. So we use the AI to help people write a better proposal, but we don't, you know, use it to determine which idea is better than the other.
But this is a nice trigger actually for me to say something else, what we want to achieve. We would like to, over time, this won't happen in one round or the next round, but over time, if we have login that is connected to wallets of people, and if we are able to rate people's reputation in a sophisticated way, then we might add, for instance, weighting to ratings. If somebody is really well established on the platform, we might give his rating a higher weight than somebody who's just new or who has shown bad behavior in the past. So that's one of thing. It's not quite AI. Maybe at some point we can add that to the mix as well. But then we're talking about a fully fledged reputation management system, weighted liquid ranking. And we're not there yet, but that would be one of the long-term visions for both us and
very exciting.
And Sway to improve each other together. So that is really where our community and the solution of Sway meet, and where we can make something better out of this. Even better, I should say.
Yes.
One very small question, Sushant. Here's somebody who asks about the NLP and the suggestions. Basically, he said, "Can I override it and just keep it as it is?" If I understand
completely. You have all the autonomy to do so. We're actually adding a button shortly that will help you actually turn it off if it's distracting or annoying to you. Keep in mind that part of the reason we developed this NLP was for folks that are not part of decision-making processes, that don't have really strong language skills, that have credible suggestions, but not, you know, strategic framing of those to benefit from NLP and grammar improvements, so that their ideas are more palatable and more engaging to others. If you are, you know, you have a strong command of English, you may not need these algorithms.
Yeah, and as there was also a question about your USPs, maybe you want to dive into that later, but I think this is a nice touch, right? We're all about artificial intelligence, and to have this platform that actually has these NLP features built in is at least a nice touch, I would say. Not the main reason, but at least a nice touch and a good fit for SingularityNET.
Yeah. So let's move on, if you don't mind, Jan. I want to make sure that people get the last sort of bits of this too. So the other three things I'm going to show you almost at once are how to suggest edits to a proposal, how to add a strength or weakness to a proposal, and how to rank or vote on proposals on the platform. And during that process, I'll certainly show you how to remain anonymous throughout this process. There are a couple ways of doing so. And there'll be time, hopefully, to show you the other functions too. So let's go to Jan's example proposal here. It's in the second, this is Pool A, the up to $150,000 per project round. And voila, he has written some stuff here. Very interesting. He's, you know, put a table and other tables and images and things. So he's really trying to show you the full, what these proposals should look like, what they're intended to look like, what these sections are intended to look like, and what the capabilities of the platform are so far. So I'm a regular guy. I'm just, you know, interested in browsing around, seeing what's here. And, you know, I want to raise something. Well, you know, why ethical? Why not moral? You know, what's the difference? I have a question, you know, and this is what I want to say. So I'm gonna, you know, suggest an edit here, or instead of AI, I'm gonna say, you know, actually write out R to artificial intelligence. And these are suggestions to Jan, who is the proposal owner. Jan has the right to go in and, cross these off or accept them. And as he's accepting them, it's sort of signaling to the system that the proposal is improving in quality, that there's changes being made to the proposal. So this is one way to suggest edits to like the content of what someone has written, just like a Google Doc. Another way is to either raise concerns, raise questions, or raise strengths for this proposal. Very simple. I don't really understand how this improves the utility of Ajax. Something like this. And you know what? I'm really concerned that this will be, maybe not well taken by the community. So I'm going to anonymize myself here. I want to express my concern, but I don't want to lose my reputation. So I'm going to anonymize myself and raise this concern. And if this resonates with other people, people can come and upvote and downvote it. They can add, little emojis and fire and all this sort of stuff. Same as folks have done here for Felix. You can also go and reply directly to that comment. But basically, it just allows for a rich debate to happen on the idea. Finally, this is the ranking sort of section that I want to talk about. Our voting system is very different from other people's voting systems. What we found, being part of many participatory processes and platforms and things like this, is that a yes/no binary is insulting to the degree to which you have emotions in your body. The yes/no binary doesn't really tell you how much you agree or why you agree, or how much you disagree and why you disagree on certain ideas. And we really want to allow you to express the full breadth of your sentiment on these ideas. We really believe that's important for the governance process to have a lot more rigor and nuance. So the way you vote is the following. You sort of grab the bar from the below and you move it in any which direction you want to indicate the degree to which you like or dislike this idea. Once you're ready, because I'm unsure and I expressed that comment there, I'm going to say I'm, mine is 47% on this idea, and I'm going to submit by vote. Again, this is going to ask me whether I want to anonymize myself or submit it as is. So I'm going to anonymize myself and submit. And after I have voted, and only after I have voted or ranked, I get to see how other people voted. This is because we don't want to game the system. We don't want to negatively or in any direction like influence or bias your potential view of this idea by knowing that it's very popular with people or very unpopular with people. We want to make sure that you make the most sound judgment without knowing what other people think of it. That way we get the truest sort of collective intelligence around this idea. So that's how really this system works. So as an idea gathers more and more collaboration and votes and edits, it's really signaling to the community and to decision makers that it's worth their time to invest in a review or formally make a decision on it. That's the essence of Sway. I'm going to stop for a second and show you a couple of other features. The two features I promised to show you. So we went through suggest edits and adding strengths and voting. You saw how to remain anonymous. There's two ways. There's either when you're creating a proposal, you can anonymize yourself. You can anonymize yourself in the debate section, and you can anonymize yourself in the vote in order to sort of retain your social capital or whatever. These last two are pretty cool and important. So if you want to navigate back to the same proposal, we don't have a recent section yet, but we're working on one. But we use the bookmark feature to help make that happen. I want to show you the bio information because it'll help you personalize the platform a bit more for yourself. So back to the feed. I am obviously I'm going to receive now notifications for the proposals that I've created, being this one here, or the one that I was involved in, which was Jan, because I voted and stuff on it. But this Tevo has made a really interesting suggestion of integrating with mural boards, and I want to follow what's going on without voting or anything yet. So I just basically click on the bookmark tab on each proposal, and I can do it either directly here, or I can do it inside the proposal. There's a bookmark tab here. And once I've bookmarked it, I will receive updates on this proposal via email. And if I want to know what those bookmarks are, I just simply go to the top right and I go to my bookmarks. And you'll see there's a a proposal that I've bookmarked. And you know what? I want to know what's going on with my mission. So I'm definitely going to bookmark this. And I'm going to bookmark the two other missions that I want to follow. These others are interesting, but not necessarily part of my day-to-day. So that's how you use bookmarks. You can bookmark proposals, or you can bookmark missions, and they'll just show up here for you in your personal tab. While you're here, I highly recommend you check out some of the other features, particularly your profile. You can go and edit the profile, change your handle to remove all those numbers and just make it your own first name. And this way people can just tag you in the platform with your first name or your last name or whatever. You can also add your Medium account number and your LinkedIn and your Twitter. I'll be adding these shortly so you guys can see how mine looks. And once I do that and save, you get a little bit of a profile page happening here. The last thing I want to show you is this really cool feature, and this will be sort of the part of the training set or whatever into our reputation system. The My Activities tab shows you everything that you've already done on the platform. If you have generated any proposals, you'll get to see where they are relative to decisions. How many of those proposals are active? How many are under review? How many have been declined or accepted? If you created any missions, you get to see which ones they are, how many are archived or under draft, and most importantly, like what comments you've made and how much attention or engagement those comments have sort of received. Anyways, that's sort of that's how it works so far. I'll stop here and maybe take some more questions. We have 10 minutes, and I want to make sure I get to as many questions as possible.
Well, let me tell you, Soushiant, that I thought it was a really good demo, and I think I even learned a few things. And seeing it also demonstrated by you, reminds me just how glad I am that we found you, and that we have this portal here, and the ability to make it even better. There was this question from this one person who asked for USP. So what are your strengths compared to other platforms? I can imagine by now that's already clear, but are there specific things you would like to point out?
I mean, just please try to imagine the chaos that happens in a Discord channel and trying to track the changes to an idea in a thread compared to the proposal structure we have inside Sway. It's a radically different experience meant for decision making, not for general kind of dialogue and comments. Sway is really, and I think on the flip side as well, comparing to Tally or Snapshot or some of these other platforms, this isn't just about voting. It's really about immersive ideas and those ideas improving through collective intelligence. Voting, we will certainly be integrating into blockchain and allowing the same sort of feature set that those things have. But this is really about allowing the community to voice ideas in a coherent and manageable way and turning those ideas into decisions for the collective improvement and governance of a community. There's no other platform that does what we do.
Yeah, and you know, so you could also point out the NLP or the anonymization features, but what stands out most for me, what is hands down the most important reason for me that I'm so glad with our partnership, is your determination to continue to develop the platform, not just for the enterprises where you're currently targeted at, but for this new decentralized governance scenario. And I think that really opens up so many opportunities for us to improve and create the functionality that also we need specifically for our use case. And I'm also very grateful that you are already working on some of these things. So
Yes.
it would be important to point out here that today, when you go to Sway, to proposals.deepfunding.ai, the first thing you will see, unfortunately, is a login. But these people from Sway are already changing that specifically for our use case. To be honest, because that was a strong desire of me. Making it open for people who are not logged in to view stuff. Only when you have to interact, when you want to interact, then you will have to log in. That functionality is not here yet, so it might take a little while. I won't make any prediction there because the software, you never know. But this is just one of the things, and another one that is really important for me is what you just mentioned, Sushant, is having it blockchain connected. So connected to your wallet, creating a wallet login, and maybe a little bit further ahead, also enabling voting, blockchain related voting on the portal. So today we still have to go to our own voting portal, which is not a big issue. But somewhere in the future, also that will be integrated in the platform. And if I start thinking about all these things and all these improvements that we can do, yeah, I'm as you can tell, I'm really getting enthusiastic about that.
Yeah, so just a heads up, I think there we do have an interesting roadmap ahead, mostly for really large features that we want to improve upon. We're going to add a new feature in here called polls, which allow anyone in the community to raise questions, not proposals, but just general questions that they want to gather insight or consensus around before they turn them into proposals. We'll also be adding a forum for there to be more casual conversation around topics. Again, anonymized, very open, very immersive, very bottom up, so that the community can get on the same page about the sensitive issues that are going on, or like the topical issues that are going on. Specifically related to Web3 and DAOs and crypto, like we've been active for 3 years, mostly in the B2B enterprise space, 40, 50,000 users so far, many different corporations, but we are super duper excited and ideologically aligned with what's going on with DAOs. And we are making a very hard kind of pivot into the sector and really changing the feel and flow of Sway to meet the sector where it's at. So we are integrating with Web3 login very soon. We will be integrating with multiple different blockchains for the voting side so that they can do official voting on the platform, as well as opening up the platform so that login is required only when you want to submit a comment or submit a proposal, allowing you to navigate and see things without necessarily having this wall, this viewing wall behind you. So many other things in the process. But if you have ideas, please go to the mission here and the how can we improve Sway, and enter your best ideas here for us. A couple of them are trending, and there's some really interesting stuff in there already. But we are giving away 5 different awards, and at the moment they're $25 gift cards. But we will increase the quality of those or the size or the volume of them depending on how many more great ideas and things we get. So I don't think this is your motivation. Know that there's a willing ear there's a team that's here that's listening and deeply interested in making this useful to you and your community and other communities you're part of. So please raise any and all feedback with us if you
Wonderful. Wonderful. When I'm listening to this, I feel that Sway might really become an important tool, not just for deep funding, but for our whole ecosystem, also for SingularityNET, and also for NewNet and Singularity DAO, who has DAO in their name, and all the other spin-offs that we're working on. I can really imagine that it will be integrated very well in our complete ecosystem.
One more thing to mention to you guys before, if you have a problem on the platform, please raise a support ticket. The team is quick. This goes directly to the engineering team, not to me, not to Jan, and they will triage this really quickly. You can do this on every page. We have this tab here. As I scroll through the other pages, the tab is always here. So you can, put your email, the subject, and enter whatever else in, and usually it gets turned around in 24 hours or sooner. The other thing is this support tab is changing. We're adding a few other FAQs, videos, and other stuff to help you get through, tricky functions and things like this. If you forgot anything I said, there will be videos coming very soon as well. So keep an eye out for the support tab and the support bar there, so you can raise tickets if you have problems.
There's one question that you might want to answer. It's a bit functional from where we are here, but I think it's a good question to answer. How will this platform scale? Will users be able to navigate the platform when there are more than 1,000 proposals? I really like that question because that's exactly where we want to go. But I also think that Sway has some very good tools for that. But please.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. I think it's really about personalization. At the moment, we don't have a lot of algorithms that are personalizing your feed. It's just based off of, the soonest idea in is the stuff you see. But in the near future, based on your patterns of behavior, based on the topics that you're interested in and whatnot, as we have more ideas on here, we're going to be showing you the ideas that we think that you benefit more from seeing, or you could benefit more from contributing to. Also, the notifications will become much more targeted so that you can sort of cut through the noise and find the signals that you seem to be more and more interested in. These are some ideas we have for helping make the platform more manageable as the numbers and volume scales.
Yeah. So Soushiant, I think, how long is it ago when you started developing this platform?
We started working on the beta in 2018. 2019.
So that's about 3 years ago.
Yeah. End of 2018, early 2019, like January, February, it was launched.
Yeah. I love, by the way, the story how you launched with this prize that you won, and so that was an accomplishment in itself.
We won the world's largest competitive prize for the future of governance. It was put on by the Swedish foundation called Global Challenges Foundation. They were looking for ideas for how to radically improve governance and governance systems in our world to meet the world where it's headed. And that's what, yes, it helps service corporates and things like this, but the core intention of what we're building is to radically change how governance happens in our most important institutions, our governments, our cities, our international institutions, and organizations generally.
Yeah, so as I was thinking, we have so much to do still. There are so many ideas popping up just right now in this session. But then I was thinking, well, look at what you've accomplished already over just the past 3 years with this fully functional solution, which works very smoothly with just a relatively small team. So I think that's a really big accomplishment, and that also holds some promise in it for the future and the upcoming 3 years. So we'll be very curious and good to see where we are 3 years from now, functionality-wise, and also adoption-wise. in the whole
Thank you, Jan.
community.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sushant. I don't think there are any new questions right now. If you still have a question, you have to type really quickly, I think. Otherwise, yeah, I think this was a fantastic demo. I got really inspired again, and I'm sure all the visitors and viewers are as well. So I think the consensus is in the chat here that it looks very promising. And I totally agree with that. Love it, I hear. So.
Some good questions from architect of NeuroWork, run encryption and whatnot. I will get our head of AI, head of engineering to respond to you directly on that.
Yeah, I think we were all about openness, right? In SingularityNET and in deep funding. So all the proposals there are out in the open, and that's the whole point about it. But yeah, maybe in the future also, if you want to do something anonymous, I can imagine that might be a topic, but it's actually not the one that's most top of mind for me.
Well, I thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Sushant. It was a great presentation. And yeah, if there are any questions after the call, you know where to reach me on social media, on all our channels. And if I can't answer it myself, I will ask Sushant and answer it in his name. So thank you for watching, and have a great evening, morning, day, or wherever you are in the world. And I'll be seeing you.
Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for your time.